Welcome back, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Me Crafty YouTube channel, and today I am back with a process video on how I created the card that I shared with you yesterday. And this was for the latest Oso inspired collaboration. To get the details on the inspiration piece and to see what everybody else in the collaboration made, please click on the link in the description box below, or I'll also pop that up in the upper right corner now. As I'm going through my process video today, if you come up with any questions that I did not answer in the video, feel free to leave those below and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. If you are a regular viewer and subscriber, thank you so much for stopping back by. If you're new to my channel and you would like to know when I upload more videos, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. As always, I appreciate each and every view and would also love it if you would like this video if you do. Let's go ahead and get started on the process. Before I get started with the process video, I wanted to show you some of the products that I plan to use in my card. Now, some of these might change when I get into the actual card, and I might add stuff, so I'll let you know if I do as I go along. The first thing I want to share with you is the Spellbinders Grand Shape Abilities, and these butterflies, which it looks like I need to look for one. These butterflies have a solid and an intricate die for each size. So I will be using just the solid one for my card today. I was rummaging through my stamps. I wanted to look for a good sentiment to use, and I ended up pulling out Cornish Heritage Farms. The stamp set was called Mona Lisa Moments. And the sentiment that I plan on using is, there is no distance too far between friends, for friendship gives wings to the heart. I thought that was nice, be nice to send to a friend, and it went with the butterfly wings. For my papers, I plan on using this American Crafts paper pad. It is an older hot buy pad. I'm honestly not sure when I bought this, but I would say it was at least over a year ago. But the reason I chose it is because, you know, I liked the fun patterns. I thought it was a little whimsical and went with the butterflies. But one of the papers in here actually has, it's a monochrome butterfly design. So I thought that would be nice to use as one of my pattern papers. I also pulled out my piercer to make holes for the stitching. And I pulled out my needles, which have a thicker end so I can get my thread in there. Now, for now, I have pulled out some different colors of DMC floss. I'm honestly not sure what I'll end up using in the end, and these needles, they're better for twine because it's thicker, so if I end up using the DMC floss, I will probably go with a smaller head needle. There's what I will be planning on using, so let's go ahead and get started with the process video. One item that I did forget to share when I showed you my products was vellum. I will be using hopefully just one sheet, and I can get my two butterflies of vellum paper. And it's thinner, it's just kind of the paper weight, not the cardstock weight. What I'm going to do is fold the vellum in half and try to cut both sides of the vellum pocket at one time. And I will run it through the die cutting machine a couple times to help it cut. I chose the largest butterfly from that Grand Shape Abilities set. So here I have my two butterfly layers, and these will end up being the shaker pocket on the final card. When I do my piercing for the stitching, I just put down this black foam pad. I think it was actually meant to help when you stamp stuff, but I will be using it today for paper piercing. Now, what I'm going to do is go around the outside edge of the butterfly and just make holes for my stitching every so often. I now have half of my butterfly pierced. I am going to flip these around so I can have the other half have the same holes. because the butterfly is symmetrical, I'm just going to line up those center dots. And like here, this top part is pierced on this piece, but it's not on the piece below. So I'm just going to go through and pierce those holes. I have all of my piercing done. I'm going to go ahead, I think now I'm going to go ahead and work on the card base because I want to get that done so I know what color thread or twine or floss that I want to use. So I'll put these to the side for now, and I'm going to bring in my paper. You can see here in the beginning of my paper pad I have the scraps from other things I have done. Let me know if you have a good system for how you store your paper scraps when you're using your 12 by 12 pads, because this isn't always the best, because sometimes I pull it off my shelf and this falls out. So let me know what you do if you have something that you think is handy. I am going to go ahead and pull out just some of these scraps that I already have in here, because I think I'll be able to use some of these on my card. For my card today, it is going to be a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top fold card. So I will be cutting my card base, which is an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of white cardstock, into half, so 4 1/4 inches wide. And I'm just going to fold that in half. So this hexagon paper I'm going to use for kind of the base of my card, and this will just get put directly onto my folded card. So I'm going to cut that to 5 1/2 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. My butterfly paper, I want it to be, let's try 3 inches wide and see what I think about that. It's going to kind of be a strip in the background, and it will be the same 5 1/2 inches tall. And this final piece I'm going to cut to 2 3/4 inches wide. I'm going to try like 4 1/2 inches tall. I'm not really liking that hexagon pattern paper in the background. I think I need something with a little more of those colors. So I'm going to come back to that striped piece I had, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut that to the same thing, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I want to see if I like this better. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that one. I'm going to go ahead and put my card base together just to get everything ready that I can before I put on the butterfly. On this blue piece, I want to cut a little fishtail here at the bottom. I have been looking for a tool lately that will just cut a fishtail out of something. If you have something you use, will you let me know? Because with, you know, less wide things, I would just use my square punch and jerry rig that. But this is too wide for that. This is, let's see, 2 3/4 inches wide, which means my center is 1 3/8. So what I'm actually going to do is just come down here and cut a little ways up the center. And then I'll use my scissors to cut the fishtail. But if you have a tool you use and like, will you let me know below? I think I'm going to try the lemon drop for my twine for sewing. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull out some. Now, when I do my stitching, I'm only going to go part way around because I need to be able to fill it later. So I think I'll start up here. And it is, I think it's called a running stitch when you just go in, out, and keep going around. I'm not going to do a back stitch, you know, where you come back through the hole. So I'm going to leave a little tail there. Some of these holes are pretty close to the edges and it is getting close to tearing the vellum. I'm going to see if I have a smaller needle. I'm going to try this one. The eye of it isn't so wide, so it might not tear as much, but it is also very little, and I have to try to get this twine in there. So I did it. All right, let's go ahead and continue to sew. So there is the start to my stitching. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. I'm going to keep stitching off camera and I'll be back in just a little bit. I have now finished stitching as far as I'm going to go before I put my confetti into my shaker pocket. I left pretty much the top of this left wing open, and off camera, actually I thought I was recording it, but I wasn't. I was using this confetti kind of sequin die from Tailored Expressions, and I cut out some little donut shapes, and some of them are squares, from the blue and the pink pattern paper. So that is what I will be putting inside of my shaker pocket. I do need to cut one more round of pink shaker bit, so I will show you how I do that. Now, because that pattern paper is only single-sided, I am going to have to be careful how I get my die cuts out of there, so I don't have to go through and manually turn over, you know, like 100 little confetti pieces. A few months ago, I bought this Spellbinders tool-in-one, and I hadn't used it, so I decided to bust this out and see how it worked. So what I do is I put my die face down and just kind of run this brush thing on the back, and then it kind of gets in those holes on the back of the die and pushes the sequins out, which is nice. You'll see there, that got all those out for me, and they're still right side up. I'm going to start putting these in there, and my other ones that I cut already are off to the side. You know, I do have to be careful that I put them in there face up, so I'm going to put in a few at a time face up. You can see the confetti, but it's very faint or delicate, so I think that'll look nice up there against the other papers. All right, I think that's enough confetti, so I'm going to go ahead. First, I'm going to clean up all these little bits. I'm going to go ahead and finish the stitching. I did get lucky and I had the running stitch finish where it should, instead of having, you know, 2 stitches together or 2 openings together. What I think I'm going to do now, I'm just going to tie a little knot at the back of each opening and hope I can get it close enough that the stitch will not come out. I feel like I need a little something right up here in this corner, so to bring out more of the yellow, I'm going to take another piece from the paper pad, and I am going to bring out my new, let's see, it's an American Crafts punch. trying to see if I can find a name, but it's just this little tiny banner. I'm gonna punch one of those out and see what it looks like up there. I think I like that. I'm gonna put that down up there. And I'm only going to adhere down the top part. That way if the bottom of the fishtail wants to kind of stick up, that's okay, just a little bit more dimension. I think what I'm going to try is to stamp the sentiment in Stays On onto some of the vellum that I used to die cut the butterfly. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make it like a strip to go around the front. If I would have been thinking, if I knew earlier what I was going to do, I would not have adhered the pattern paper down to the card front. I would have left it so I could put the, you know, wrap it around just that front instead of the inside of the card. So again, the sentiment I'm using, there is no distance too far between friends, for friendship gives wings to the heart. And the reason I'm using Stays On ink is because, of course, vellum is not porous. And try that again. I do like it's kind of a faint stamp. I like that on the vellum, but I want to try it again. My author, or the person that said that at the bottom, is a little bit smudged. That will work. What I'm going to do is put some adhesive on each side, or at the end of the sentiment and each side, and I will just wrap that around the front when I have it exactly where I want it. Then you'll see it just kind of goes to the inside there. To adhere the butterfly, I'm just going to do a couple glue dots. I don't think they'll show through too badly. I hope you enjoyed that little look at how I created my card this month. I hope you're having a crafty day. Bye-bye.